Good morning, Shane Lutrick. Miss Lord, I appreciate some of the things that you're bringing forward. We need help at every level. As to some of the things that you said, I just want to make it clear that there are several of us that have put, we're not just leaving this to fall on its face, I guess is what I'm saying. We have put up some of our own personal money, a heck of a lot of our personal time, which for some of these guys, the talent level that they have, I can't even imagine if we had to pay them out of pocket the work that they're getting done, that they're putting into this. And I know for a while there was, just on myself, and I know it was a good number of a lot of other people. They put their livelihoods on hold for a while to come up with just pushing for this because it is that important to us. We want to get it right. And obviously with the last, our internal audit, we didn't get it right. And it's not anything necessarily a personal attack, but that's what we keep saying. The system is broken and we can't trust it. I was also an observer. Like I said, I stand for, the political views don't really matter too much on this. I think this is a complete nonpartisan issue, but I just want to make it clear that we are doing everything we can, because there's a few of us that have changed parties from the Republican Party to the Libertarian just so we could be involved. I was an observer the other day. There was no Republicans, no Democrats there. But there was a lot of us that had taken that same path, and I think that at the end of the day, everybody just wants to get it right. We went in there. I do want to say that I learned a lot as being an observer. It was kind of, and I know the deputy clerk has taken on a huge role, and she's been left with a big burden. But I think she's doing the best she can. One thing I noticed is that from the top down, it makes it difficult. With some of the things that I think we can change here are the voting convenience centers. We can't go back or the clerk has a really hard time going back and reconciling all these numbers as far as voter history, voter by precinct. It's any questions I realized, they're basically presented with a tabulator tape and then a report, and if they match up, they send it off to the Secretary of State. There was one on the, what was that called? The absentee roster. And so the absentee roster, the numbers didn't add up on our absentee votes. And so basically kind of a protocol is, even though the Secretary of State wasn't there and those people at the state level weren't there, we're supposed to just ask the question, how do we reconcile these numbers on the absentee roster? That's for the entire county. And we're basically just going to see what the Secretary of State tells us to do. And some of the returns and things, basically I feel like Sylvia's hands have been, or Deputy Clerk's hands have been somewhat tied with the way they want us to issue these reports. And they kept saying, she kept saying, it used to be this way, and we could calculate every voter by precinct, and vote type and everything, but now it's a process, and it's not an easy process to get to that. So I think there's some confusion there, and it just seems like they're taking the members of the county out as much as possible and just send these numbers off, and we'll tell you what to do with them. And then we're basically going to give you what you're going to present. I'm learning at this. I'm glad that I had the opportunity to go. And I think everybody worked through it the best we could, but it's just, there's a lot of confusion and a lot of hoops to jump through in the process to get the numbers right. So I appreciate it.
Mr. Chairman, Commissioners.